Pickle! Hit the arrow sign. Hello. Welcome in to the Dave Campbell Studios. I'm your college editor here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football, Ishmael Johnson, alongside a very very hype director of recruiting, Greg Powers. How you doing, man?
What's up, man?
Yeah.
I'm excited. This is a big day.
Yeah, if you're getting a notification saying we've gone live a little bit earlier than you're probably used to, it's because we got a pretty big announcement coming here. We got, on the other side of the studio, Gunter wide out, Canon, Lemberg, so they're getting a little prepared, ready to announce his commitment to a very lucky university that's going to get his very prestigious state championship talents in 2024 and beyond, deciding between the likes of schools. We'll get into it in a little bit.
Yeah.
But Powers, I do want to talk a little bit about just kind of this time of year, because we're having a lot of commitments in studio. You know, what are you seeing kind of from kids making commitments before really summer kicks off and a lot of these off-season workouts? You know, what are you kind of seeing from a lot of kids wanting to make their early commitment?
We're in that sweet spot for college commitments because, you know, spring ball just ended here in Texas, and the college camp season is kind of like kicking off, right?
Yeah.
Like, so we had yesterday was like the first big day of college camps throughout the state of Texas. A lot of kids are going out and competing for scholarship offers and working out with coaches.
Sure.
So I look at June and July now as really – you're going to see a lot of guys come off the board, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of the top players are going to come off the board. Most guys, especially team-oriented guys or guys who are have a pretty good idea of where they want to go. You know, they're going to commit before their senior season, and August 1st. Practice kicks off. So we're like in a very tight window right now with June 2nd, June 1st, all the way up until like July 31st. I would say that is the time. Like, take your visit. You know, you can do your official visits. You can go and tour the schools, talk to coaches, you know, figure out what you're going to do. And if you have that spot, then it's not a bad idea if you're going to be playing your senior season to just go ahead and say, you know what? This is the spot for me, and I'm going to lock my spot in.
Get it out of the way, kind of focus on the season going forward. Let's talk a little bit about the rising senior across the studio from us. You know, he has offers from Sam Houston, SFA, Marshall. You know, when you look at, you saw him in the state championship game against Poth. You saw him, you went to Gunter, right?
Yeah.
You had an article kind of covering the whole program. When you look at Canon Lindberg's film and when you saw him play, you know, what do you kind of see?
Well, I mean, Cannon's a guy, a student athlete who I feel like kind of grew up before my eyes. I think the first time I met him and watched him play was at the state 7-on-7 about 3 years ago. So he's been a guy that's been an instrumental part of this Gunter offense for years and years, right? And I guess this is the best way to categorize it when I look at it. He's a football playing dude. Yeah. Right? And that's the highest compliment whenever you're talking about, you know, football players, because that's what college coaches look at. I put him into 2 buckets. This is the Greg Powers-ism of 2 buckets of recruiting.
Okay. Write this down.
Can they play or can they not play?
Sure.
And it takes about 10 seconds to know that Canon Lindberg can play, and I think everybody who watches Gunter, everybody who's watched him over the last few seasons, know that he can play, and really it was about getting that right fit, finding the school that he feels the most comfortable with, I think, and just going ahead and pulling the trigger, and that's today. You know, and it's also a big day because it's Canon Lindberg's birthday.
There you go, making a commitment on your birthday.
Birthday commitment.
Yeah. So in particular, when you talk about a school like Gunter and a program that runs an offense like Gunter, right? What does it do to have a weapon like him on the outside? What, you know, as a scout, I guess, what do you kind of look at when you look at a running-oriented team that has weapons on the outside that kind of don't get maybe as many opportunities as you expect from a team that spreads it out a lot more, but when they do, they kind of make the most of it? When
I look at his high school football playing days, I don't look at a guy that's just like a one-trick pony, right? Like not just a guy who could split out wide and go on the outside. He can line up in the slot. He's also a tremendous defensive asset for the team as well, because, you know, their best players tend to spend time on both sides of the football, right? So he can do a little bit of everything. I mean, he's even been a weapon on special teams at times as well. So, I mean, strength, strong hands, the ability to get open and compete for footballs in the vertical passing game. But I think it's one of the most underrated aspects of the wide receiver position that most people who follow recruiting overlook or tend to overlook is his ability to catch the rock, right? He's got
you're seeing some of these jump balls right now.
He's got really strong hands, and I would say that he's got sneaky athleticism. A lot of people are overlooking Lindberg's athleticisms that come to his as it relates to his recruitment. We just aren't some of those people.
I was about to say, yeah, exactly. So you're looking at a kid who has a high 3.9 GPA, you know, a 4.5 in the 40, and you know what? Let's have him make his decision.
500-pound squat, too.
There you go.
There you go.
Oh, my goodness. See, I don't even have his strength right there. So let's turn it over to the other side of the studio, and let's have Canon Lindberg make his commitment live. Dave Campbell's right here.
Yeah, after going to the camp for 3 years in a row and building relationships with all the coaches on the staff, I'm going to be committing to SFA.
All right. Man, SFA. That's cool. All right, Powers. So Kobe Carthel picks up an incredible get. What do you think? What do you think of the fit, right? You know the staff pretty well as well at SFA. What do you think of the fit?
I really love the fit, and here's what I think is really cool about this commitment in general. He mentioned that he went out and competed at the camp to earn this offer. Yeah. SFA hasn't extended a lot of 2024 offers yet.
Right. They're very particular.
They're just starting, right? So every SFA offer is a committable offer.
Sure.
That's kind of what they hang their hat on.
Yeah.
Canon was at SFA's camp in Melissa last night without an offer in hand, and he's here today committing to SFA. In general, I think it's just a really cool story because of the heart and desire that he showed to go out and earn this scholarship, right? And then I know SFA's got to be fired up because they're getting a state championship pedigree player, a guy who can be a valuable asset in the offense. You can find multiple ways to get him the football.
Sure.
And this is SFA's first commitment in the class of 2024. So starting, the cycle off with a big win on the recruiting trail, just extending offers yesterday, picking up your first commitment today. I know that Carthel and his crew over there have to be really fired up to start the ball rolling downhill in what I think is going to be a pretty important class for them.
Yeah, I was about to say, since Colby Carthel's gotten to Nacogdoches, they've been hitting the ground running and recruiting just like I believe they had the number one overall class in his first year there or something like that. They've had top classes every single year. If you're a high school football fan, you can look at that roster and say, oh, I remember him, I remember him, I remember him. May not be the most highly touted guys, but guys that you're like, man, they were just really, really good players in high school. Maybe caught them, offered them just before they took off and kind of became those highly touted prospects. And I expect nothing less from this pickup here, Canon Lindberg. So, yeah, I mean, geez, again, I'm a huge fan of Colby Carthel. We all here are on staff, and I think that's an incredible fit. And kind of fits what they do.
I wouldn't, credit to SFA, right? They do a tremendous job, I feel like, in these players' recruitments, finding guys who can play ball.
Sure.
Right? And letting them work out with them, making them come to camp to earn the offers. Like, they're putting in a lot of legwork to do their research on these guys and taking their time and using a methodical approach that allows them to find the guys that are the right fits in their program. It's the transfer portal era.
Sure.
No, you can't mistake that, right? This is a new era of college football, and SFA wants to find these guys who are committed to the program, are committed to winning, and committed to being around for their entire college career. And that's how I feel like that you can build championships in NAC, and I think this is a great step in the right direction for the class of 2024.
Yep, I agree with that. So, if you've watched this and you've watched, I believe, our commitments with Tobias Stepp and Logan Thomas as well, now Canon Lindberg joins that crew. If you want to commit in studio, right here in Dave Campbell's, feel free to do so. Reach out to Greg Powers, reach out to myself, Will Wilkerson, anybody, Greg Tepper, reach out to somebody, and we will do commitments live here in studio. We'll have Greg Powers sit with you, talk with you, all that stuff. Bring your family, bring your friends. That's all we'll make it happen, right? We had stuff remotely in Katy, as you saw with Logan Thomas last week. We've had stuff right here in the studio. We'll try to make it happen for you. And yeah, feel free to reach out to any one of us and we'll try to make it happen. So let's get to the other side of the office as Greg Powers has made his way over. And Greg, you're sitting here with the big man.
Teleported to the other side of the office. Hey, Canon, congratulations on the commitment, man. Just what was it like yesterday at the camp whenever you went out there? Did you have like the butterflies in your stomach as you went out there to compete? Just kind of walk us through the whole experience, what yesterday was like for you.
Yeah, I got to the camp. I knew I had to go out and show out and play my best. And yeah, I definitely had butterflies. Just didn't know what was going to happen, but it went well. And yeah.
I know you had a chance to visit with Coach Carthel. What was his reaction and your reaction whenever he gave you the offer? You told him that you were going to go ahead and pull the trigger.
He high-fived my parents, gave me a big hug, picked me up. All that good stuff.
I know that you had a chance to go out and tour the campus for Junior Day. You went out and looked at it. It's a beautiful place.
Yep.
What stood out to you while you were out there, and what did you really like when you were at SFA?
Just where it sits geographically. I like how it's all in the woods and around everything, the stuff that I like.
Well, I wasn't going to let you get out of here without asking you about Gunter football, right?
Yep.
State championship last year. You're a senior leader on the team this year, so I know it's extra important to you to go out with a bang. What was the team looking like this spring?
They're looking really good. We grew as a team on and off the field. We found some leaders, found some young guys stepping up, and we're gonna have a great season.
State championship last year, AT&T Stadium. You can go ahead and show everybody the ring right there. There it is. What was that experience like? Walking in and really y'all dominated in that game.
Yep. Yeah. So something that a lot of us have been training for since we were playing Pee Wee flag football, and for it to finally pay off, I mean, it's the best feeling ever.
State championship aspirations this year.
Oh, yeah.
What does Canon Lindberg got to do to make that happen?
Put everything on the line and do everything he can for the Gunter Tigers.
You heard it from right there from Canon Lindberg, state championship pedigree, heading to Nacogdoches to play at SFA. Canon, congratulations on your decision
Yes, sir.
to commit to Axum, and good luck with your senior season.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, so you just saw it there. I mean, look at this. If you want to commit, live Dave Campbell studio. Come get a nice little ceremony for you as well. Congratulations to Canon Lindberg. Congratulations to the Gunter Tigers as well, to his family. Congratulations to SFA as well. I mean, you guys got yourselves a pretty good baller there. So that'll do it for us. Dave Campbell's and Mishmal Johnson. Thanks again to Greg Powers. Mallory Hartley behind the scenes. She told me not to mention her name, but I'm going to do it anyway. She did a great job. And again, once again, congratulations to Canon Lindberg. And that'll do it for us. By the way, WTF Women Talking Football coming up at 2 o'clock.